And we're live. We're here.
So now what?
I guess we talk or a bit.
Good morning or afternoon or night or whatever time it is.
Yeah, it's afternoon. Bill's in the chat already chirping at us because we were 1 minute late. Well, actually, you were 1 minute late. I was sitting here waiting for you.
I'm not even awake yet.
Yeah. I would say you rolled out of bed, but really you rolled off the ground to come over here.
I actually rolled off the ground a little while ago. I just had stuff to do.
I was watching. I forgot to mention in that Wolverine movie how authentic that movie was, because that's the one where he fights ninjas in Japan, and he was sleeping on the ground.
On the ground or on the floor?
Well, it was on the ground. On the ground.
Outside on the ground.
No, he was inside on the ground.
Inside. Yeah. On the floor.
On the ground. Yes.
Floor.
All right, let's start the episode. So Richard can have a few minutes to wake up because he's already cranky. Quick save. Wait, this is where we start? Yeah, this is where we start. Okay, so this month, Quick Save Club is playing Antechamber. Actually, for this month and next month. CC Prime is playing Gears of War #1. RF Gen is playing Cannon Spike, and CC Portable is riding off into the sunset with CC Portable Mania. So that means that you could play any portable game you wish, any system, whatever you feel like. Just play it, and then listen to the episode because why not?
I hope Curtis ripped you a new one for spoiling his big reveal.
I really didn't. I really didn't spoil it. Apparently, I did. It was Eric was playing tricks on us. Yeah.
It's just
keep fiddling with that. That's not hard to talk over.
It's loose.
Now's a good time to tighten it.
Well, you don't want it to fall off during the show, do you?
Actually, yeah, I do. That would be interesting.
And this is not interesting?
No.
Thank you. Keep doing your thing.
I can't. It's like that thing is like making all sorts of noise.
It's reality.
Nightmare. It's a nightmare is what it is.
I'll leave it down here.
How about you mute your mic and then I can talk?
I don't know how to do that. What if I have something witty to say?
I went. So speaking of CC Portable, I went as far as to charge up my PSP. I haven't put a game in yet, but I will put a game in and play something eventually. I'm trying to pick a racing game that I haven't played before.
I believe.
Hardly hear you because your mic is sitting down by your crotch. Speaking to your crotch. Yes.
That I have only one portable game left.
What do you mean? Like you've sold all the rest? You got rid of the rest?
That is correct.
Which portable game do you have left?
I can't tell you because I might send it to you when I'm done.
Oh, okay. Well, then send away. Fandango. We're this month we're doing 70s Jack Nicholson. All the movies are there in the Fandango folder. If you need access to it, let me know. Because you'll find in that folder, you'll find The Last Detail, 5 Easy Pieces, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and that's it. And then next month, what?
Some more Star Wars?
Star Wars has been removed because I needed the space. Because there was a movie that Josh had put in there about aliens. I think I had to take that out too. Your Star Wars is still in there, Rogue One. Did you watch that yet?
No. I thought about it though.
This is the easiest. This is the easiest podcast I've ever done. Let me tell you, smooth. Next month, Josh and Curtis's Treehouse. Their picks are Attack the Block and It Follows. We don't know who picked what. And then there is one more pick for the listeners, for our listeners in Discord to choose. The movies are Defender, Dope, 8th Grade, The Lobster, Midsommar, and Wet Hot American Summer. So far, 8th Grade is leading the poll. This will be the last week. Next week, we will declare a winner. Are you good now?
How's that?
That is the exact same that it was before.
No, it is really tight now. This is not wiggling at all. Look at that. I finished it by the time all you did was the little rundown. How long did that take? A couple seconds.
It took forever. It was excruciating. That's what it was.
Just
all
enjoying
right.
my Sunday morning.
I know. I see that. You were definitely in Sunday morning mode.
Where's the chat? How do I see the chat?
The chat is exploding with Bill's comments. He is concerned that the Blu-ray community will see this.
Private chat.
Fortunately, I think the Blu-ray community haven't discovered Retro Fandango. W has non-Discord vote. Oh, Wet Hot American Summer. Yeah, well, it's got to be on Discord for it to count.
This chat goes backwards. Oh.
Yeah, it goes back in time.
Yeah, well, I would like for the most recent comment to be at the top instead of having to scroll down to the bottom.
It's not the way it works. It's not the way it works.
Hair brushing time. I did not brush my hair today.
Neither did I.
Are
you really just gonna read the chat to yourself?
Well, I gotta be up to date. I gotta be up to date here.
I wonder if I could disable the chat. Maybe I should do that.
I don't want to disappoint Bill.
Oh no, we got some good stuff for Bill. He's gonna like at least one of our topics today because it's all about his buddy Joe.
Happy Father's Day, Bill. A little bit early for you.
When is Father's Day?
It's right now.
Oh. All right. Well, happy Father's Day, Bill. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Mm-hmm.
The mothers, screw you. You're not getting anything. It's Father's Day.
No special pancakes or flowers or anything.
Nope.
All right.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Ready.
Who is giving you guff about Gamecubes not having batteries?
I was just shocked. I opened it up and yeah, there it was. I opened my GameCube before because I put a region free switch on it.
Yeah,
years back.
That's right. Remember that.
But, who uses a GameCube anymore? So
no one.
It's been sitting there for a while. But my kids, they're playing that Animal Crossing game, and the clock kept changing. So ordered a battery, put it in. And I'll say this: you got to be careful because they tell you in all those tutorials and stuff, and all the online comments, like, yeah, buy this battery. They tell you the model number, and make sure it's got the little tabs because you have to put the tabs in the board, solder it in. What they don't always tell you, you got to make sure that the tabs go the right way, because the battery in the GameCube, it's got tabs, which if you imagine the little battery like one of those emoji characters, it's got little arms that stick out to the sides. And you stick those in. There's a positive and a negative. Stick them in there. The thing is, you order the battery with the little tabs, and then it comes in, and the one I got, both the tabs are going one direction. They're going off to one side. And you can bend them, but they don't quite bend the way they're supposed to be, arms wide. Also, one of the tabs on the GameCube battery that's in there, which I believe was a Maxell, one tab is regular size and the other tab is teeny tiny. It's a little smaller on one side. The battery that I got, both tabs are big regular size. So it didn't fit. I had to bend it all over and try to get it over there. When I got it over there, it's too big, doesn't go in. So I had to end up mutilating the other battery and snipping off the little end, soldering that to the new battery tab, and then bending it around and getting it in there. It was a really ugly patch job, but it works.
I've seen your work, so
Hmm.
I can only imagine. I remember your
Everything that I have soldered
yeah.
with my gaming system works
Mm.
fine.
I remember was it the Sega
Done
Genesis?
the Genesis, which
That
still up and running. I was actually using
that
that the
thing
other
was
day.
nasty. Nasty.
No, it works.
I imagine it
Works.
works. I imagine it does.
Works good.
Good old Nintendo. It's probably some proprietary Maxell battery.
Well, yeah, they like their security. You got to
Yeah.
buy their special screwdrivers. You
Hmm.
know, the bootleg versions, so you get into their systems and mess with it.
So is that the blank tape company, Maxell? I didn't know they made batteries.
Right? Yeah, I
Who knew?
remember their VHS.
Yeah. VHS, audio cassettes. Yeah.
Ooh, this is like a Chris Roberts topic.
Mm,
What companies produced VHS? What were the ones that you had when you were a kid? Did you have the Maxell? Did your family splurge for some Sony tapes?
I can't remember. I
I can't really either unless somebody says it and
yeah.
then you see it and you're like,
I
oh yeah, I remember that.
like I could see it. I could see the color. It was like these cream colored cases, and there was like red. It's like a red pattern on there, but I can't remember what the brand name specifically was.
I'm sure we had just all sorts of them, whatever was available. Uh,
I could go look. I still have some for some bizarre reason,
that's neat.
but
Yeah, I'd be curious. Chris, if you're listening to this, post some pictures of blank VHS tapes so we can see all the different brands and then what the covers look like. Because they would always have like a different cover, so you put them on the shelf and they never matched up or anything. It was just random tapes.
yeah,
That was the worst, or I wouldn't say worst, but the most disappointing Christmas present I ever got. I was over at my
blank
aunt's
tapes.
house. I was over at my aunt's house, and it was their family's Christmas, so their kids had all these presents under the tree and
Hmm.
stuff. But you're the relative who goes over, and then there's a little something for you. I got one little package. I opened it up. It's like a pack of blank VHS tapes. Oh boy, can't wait to crack this open. Now,
it's
naturally, later, he's like, it's useful. It's a
yeah,
practical
like it's
gift.
practical.
But in the moment, it's like, oh, what am I going to do
Yeah,
with this?
and it's a bit of a tease too. You think you're getting like a box set of some VHS movies or something.
Right. You start feeling, you hear that little rattle of the wheels in there. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I got some movies? What is this
yeah,
going to be?
yeah.
Oh, Maxell.
Blank
Right.
blank tapes.
Actually, I think the worst Christmas present you can get is something Christmas related. Like,
Oh,
did someone ever give you an ornament with your name on it?
yeah. Well, that was like my grandmother was big on that. They
Oh,
would say
God,
like
yes.
a date on
Yes.
it, or maybe it would say your name. Yeah,
This is great. Let me go hang it on the tree.
yeah.
Guess I'm done with that.
Whoop de doo. Meanwhile, like you go over to your friend's house, and oh, grandma got me this Nintendo game, but she got me the
Oh.
wrong one. I wanted Back to the Future, but she got me Back to the Future 2.
Oh yeah,
Grandma, you're
so
so
she had to go
dumb.
out and buy me the other one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she's gonna return it. Maybe I'll get the one I want in a week.
The
Meanwhile,
one
I'm
I'm
like,
not yeah, the
my,
one
my
I'm not playing is sitting there inside my new turtle van.
yeah.
Oh, hey, speaking of toys, little children's toys, are you gonna go buy those new Ghostbuster re-release? The real Ghostbusters? I saw
Oh
Steven post about them. They're out in the stores.
no, no, I don't want. No, unless they were like I can find like if I'm
You
in a
done with
store
you done
and
with
they're like
toys?
$5 each, I'll probably feel compelled to get them.
Oh,
But
because they ever had a bunch of them there.
because I really don't like I don't want to spend a ton of money on toys.
You will, because from what I remember, those things were over like $17 a piece.
Mm,
That was Canadian.
mm, yeah. I tell you, like I'm not in any sort of mood to spend any sort of money because if there's one thing this pandemic has taught me, it's that if you just don't go anywhere and don't do anything, you could save a lot of money for
Yeah,
fairly quick.
I
Like
learned that pretty early on.
Sarah told me what our bank account was, and I'm like, what? How did that happen? She's like, well, we haven't gone anywhere, done anything. So you might have noticed a lack of output from me this week, or maybe it didn't. Doesn't matter. Anyways,
I don't know. I see a new Blu-ray getting opened up every single day.
Nope, not this week. There hasn't been too much this week. And the reason for that is because I've been doing budgeting. I've been like all this week. I've been going through all of our bills and everything like that, just to see where like all the money was going in that. And I'm like, this is a bit of an eye opener. There's definitely like I've wanted to ignore it for so long, but we've always had problems like really building. Like we've saved money, but it was always really hard for us to build on that thing. And you really didn't think the money was going too crazy, but then you really look at it and
and you look over that all those bags of games and Blu-rays and
and it's
like,
like
I guess I went to Value Village a few times. Yeah. All that stuff adds
up.
That
it does add up. And like I've only been buying a few things online here and there, and specific things that I want. And even with just doing that, like just sticking to a few things, that we still were able to save some dough. So yeah, all those little things. And then going out to eat, like we only do takeout once a week. Instead of like going to the restaurants and that. Yeah, get her pho or sometimes a burrito or I don't really like it.
I was thinking about burritos days ago. I was thinking about this burrito place I went to in New York last time I was in the States, and it was so long ago. It was depressing.
We finally got a decent burrito place here sometime last year. And they're not too expensive either. Like there's some places that are really expensive. Like you could spend up to $18 on one burrito. Whoa. At some places.
Is it one of those places like it set up like a Subway style where you say, okay, I want this and this and this?
But the place we got here in town is very reasonably. Like we'll spend $20 for both of us. And they give you like a burrito stack full of stuff. And I even like I'm a minimalist when it comes to the burrito. I don't get anything that's too fattening in there. Like I don't get any sour cream or.
Oh, come on. What's the point then?
No sour cream. Or what's the other big one? I don't know. I just get like just a bait.
Get like some guacamole, some avocado and stuff in there.
Nope. Nope. I get the meat. I get the beans. I get some salsa in there. And then whatever veggies they have, they can put that in there, and that's it. And I have a good time. And or sometimes some rice. I'll put some rice. And sometimes we'll get to the end of the thing, and I've asked for so little in there. They'll actually sometimes go back and like put like a little bit more of some other things like that I had asked for. Like they'll put like more. Like they only put like so much rice, and because at the end like I have such a small pile, they'll go back and they'll maybe scoop some more rice in there, or just so. This pathetic bastard can actually have a decent meal. It's good, but it's a really good place. I really like it. The best one though that we've been to, or a really good one, and I don't know if it's best, but it's really good. It's the one that we went to in Barrie. It was just this guy that has this little hole in the wall beside a gas station, and that guy was like legit, and he like everything was handmade right in there. It was good times.
That's cool. Do you think you can still eat food off of a truck?
Yeah, they have a truck festival here. Of course, this year it's not happening, but once a summer they like all the trucks that would go to Midways and stuff like that. I think they go in like a group to town to town to town, and they'll have like a thing here.
So it's like an event.
Yeah, they'll like set up trucks and it won't be just truck food. They'll have like local farmers and that, and the berry farms and that. Like they'll have fresh strawberries or blueberries or whatever. It's not cheap. It's expensive, but damn, you find some really good stuff. And then there's people that have like fresh baking and that. I don't participate in the baking because I know it's really bad for me, but I've had a taste of what Sarah has bought.
Bad for you. Can't have yourself a little donut or something?
No. No, that's really bad. That's like the bad cholesterol in there. It's
It's
really
all
bad.
about portion control. You don't
No,
go
see,
nuts.
here's the thing, and I used to tell my dad this all the time. My dad would be oh, you just have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of this. Here's the problem: they put the same crap in everything. So if you just say, oh, I'm just gonna have a little bit of this because it has a little bit of salt in it, and then you have a little bit of that, but that has a little bit of salt in it, and you have a little bit of that, but that has a little bit, and then suddenly you're eating a whole lot of salt.
Right, but
And
that's the thing. You don't eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You eat a little bit of one thing, and then you go home and you eat a carrot.
well, that's what I do. I have a taste of whatever Sarah bought, and that's it. And then see, I remember I was at work one time, and there was a guy that he had like, I don't know, 3 desserts. He's piling in 3 desserts and all that. And I'm like, you know how much sugar that is? You're eating so much sugar. And he looks at me and he's like, yeah. And he picks up a banana and he starts eating it. I'm like, there's sugar in that banana. You're just adding more sugar in there. It doesn't like banana sugar doesn't like compensate, you know?
That's natural.
Bill got a shovel once for Christmas when he was a kid.
I saw that.
I could see that. Bill getting a shovel.
Give him a shovel, and then they hand him his coat and boots.
Yeah, go outside and shovel the driveway. Yeah, my parents would totally do something like that too. Oh boy.
I imagine that was a snow shovel and not just like a.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it's winter, December.
Hole.
The driveway needs to be done. Yeah, I would get practical, stupid stuff like that too, like boots. I get winter boots.
Yeah.
Say thanks, ma. Got some.
That was the easy way to pad around the Christmas tree. It's like, oh yeah, you get them. You know, there's a Nintendo game, but then what? You need new socks. You know, T-shirts. You could always use more of those.
Yeah, socks. I would always get a package of socks and a package of underwear all the time.
That was a good one I got though. My uncle gave me a box. I opened it up, it was all like socks and underwear, and I just rolled my eyes, and then I started putting my hand in there, and I found a copy of Battletoads.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, mine's the total opposite. I'd have the socks and underwear, but there would be no Battletoads.
You didn't dig deep enough.
I had to. No. Trust me, if it was in there, I would have found it. I actually had to tell my mom like about 10 years ago to stop buying me socks and underwear because
10 years ago.
Yes, because she was still doing it every Christmas. She'd get like a big package. Here you go, and it'd be full of socks and underwear because she thought it was funny. And I had to tell her like, you got to stop because I don't have any room for all these socks. Like I had way too much socks and underwear. Although that was 10 years ago, and I'm starting to run low now. So maybe I should get
she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She changed your diaper. She knows exactly what you need.
Bill says it was like a kid shovel with Santa on it. I was actually thrilled.
What are you complaining about?
Oh, there you go. Oh my goodness. All right.
It's like, oh boy, I get to go outside.
Man. All right. I played some video games, believe it or not.
How dare you?
Because of your okay. Well, first I've been playing Horizon Chase Turbo or Turbo Chase Horizon, or I don't know how the hell to say that. I don't know what the order. It's a car game, it's a racing game. It's really cool. It's on. You can get it on Steam. You can get it on the Xbox. You can get it on the PS4. I think it's on sale right now on the PS4. But it plays like an old school racing game, like your Outrun or Rad Racer, something like that. And it's like I beat the game. I got credits like a week ago, but I've been like all this week I've been going through there and getting all like the extra stuff. Like if you get 5th place or higher, that unlocks the next race. So I was just kind of doing that, just unlocking all the way through, and now I'm going for gold and everything, so I can get like the extra cars and the extra achievements, and I don't know. It's just fun. It's really addictive game. You got to come in first place, and then they also put these little blue coins that you have to hit while you're racing. And if you get all those, then you get gold and a bonus, and that's the way to go. That stuff's addicting because you got to memorize where the blue coins are, and sometimes there'll be a car that'll knock you out of the way, and you'll miss the blue coin in that. And every time like you play, it's like you just kind of and you don't get first place and all the blue coins, you feel like as if it was you that made a mistake, and you could do better. And It's really good. It's good times. So then you're talking of all the D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons, had me wanting to play a D&D game. So
Are
I went
there?
on.
I guess there are.
Yeah, there's a lot of them actually. There's a ton of them, but a
Are
lot of them
they
are.
are they like the Baldur's Gates and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff?
yeah, yeah. So I was looking like what's the best to play now, like what's the best to play today, and one of them was Neverwinter. Yeah, Neverwinter and something, Neverwinter something or whatever.
Neverwinter Nights.
That's it, I think.
I think I
Neverwinter
have that.
Nights. Well, there's a part 1 and part 2. They recommended part 2, and then the other one was Dragon Age Inquisition, which I had played a Dragon Age game before, but I hadn't played Inquisition yet. And I was like him and Han because Neverwinter Nights 2 was on sale. It was on sale on GOG, but it's $13. I'm not in the mood to spend any money.
That's a sale price? Get out of here.
Yeah, I know. For an old game too. I think it came out in 2011 or something like that. So I'm kind of him and Han. I'm like, I don't know. And so I ended up playing a little bit of Dragon Age, and it didn't like, I've played those games before, and I don't know, like it doesn't feel like Dungeons and Dragons. Like it doesn't feel like you're rolling dice and stuff. Like I don't know. It's a pretty good game though. It's really good. It's cool. Like this guy, you're like this character that has no memory, doesn't know what's going on, and you wake up and you got this mark on your hand, and this mark, if you hold it up to these demon gates, it'll close these demon gates. So you're the chosen one now because nobody else can close these demon gates. So you're the chosen one that can go to all these gates and hold up your hand and close them. And you got to pick a crew to come with you and all that. And it's pretty fun, but it's very like, it still feels like a action, like more like an action game than Dungeons and Dragons. So then I started thinking maybe I want to try this Neverwinter Nights 2. And I said, I wonder how much it is on Steam. I'll go check Steam. And they actually don't have it on Steam for some reason. It's not there. I don't know if it's a GOG exclusive or what, but in my library, I have Neverwinter Nights 1. That's how crazy the Steam library is. I have no idea what the hell is in there, but it was right there. It's like, you have this game. So I fired up that a little bit of that today and started playing that, but I only made it to by the time I created my character and all that stuff, a couple of hours went by.
Yeah.
Pick your class and pick what stats and all that. And then you got to go look up online and see what's best and all that stuff. So finally did all that. I think it took me a couple hours, and now I'm actually playing the game, but that's as far as I got.
I'm looking at it right now. I have the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition.
Yeah, Diamond.
On GOG.
Oh.
I don't know. It was one of those freebie games a while back.
Yeah, I think I got it for free too. But seems all right. Seems pretty fun.
Yeah, I guess it's the startup. Like you said, it takes so long to get your stuff going.
Yeah.
Because even in those the pen and paper one I was doing, it's like, it doesn't take forever, but you can set up your character and equipment and all that. It's like, I kind of just want to play the game, but.
Well, plus I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like it gets to, because I know that in some games there are some classes that they'll put in there that are designed specifically for a second playthrough. Like they'll be, what's the word? Limited in some capacity or something like that. Like you can't self-heal, or there'll be something like where it's designed specifically for people who want an extra challenge, who know the game and want an extra challenge. Whereas me, I have no idea what I'm doing. So Melissa's in the chat right now. Hello, Melissa.
I saw that.
Came in right at Dungeons and Dragons talk. It's good for you.
Yeah. She makes it sound like she doesn't want to be here, though.
Bill forced her to come here. Well, thanks, Bill.
Attending the live show of Retro Fandango, it's like getting a shovel for Christmas.
It is like getting a shovel for Christmas. I think that's our title right there.
Thank you, Bill.
I'm writing that in. Getting a shovel for Christmas.
Where's this outline? What are we talking
Have you played any games?
I fired up several gaming systems yesterday to see if they work.
And that's it.
Went to my old arcade machine there. I was like, I haven't turned you on in a while. Dusted it off, turned it on. I was like, hey, everything still looks good here. I did reorganize some of my retro consoles. Like I have them connected and set up, and I just haven't really messed with them. So turned them on. It's like, yep, you're working. Yep, you're working. Okay, these wires are connected. See you later. I tried sitting down to play games recently a few times, but I get like 2 or 3 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, I'm just not feeling it. I don't feel the need to sit here and play this game. I think the problem is I'm doing a lot of those pick up and play games that I've played 100 times before. I can't sit down and play an arcade game right now. I'm kind of arcaded out at the moment. So if I sit down and play something like a PC game that I haven't played before, I'm sure I can sit down and enjoy it a bit more. But I'm just not feeling it recently. I'd rather do something else. Like I'm still, I could get back into talking about all the
No, don't do it.
tabletop gaming stuff.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, well, I'm making things for that. My kids and I played a game yesterday, and I'm just making little, terrain and stuff. We have some rocks and boulders and things, and now I'm working on this fort. So it's like a little siege mission. And then the pen and paper stuff, I'm starting to come up with my own rules because I want to expand the variety of encounters and stuff. So it's the great thing about that is it's so easy to just add stuff on.
Do you think you'll ever get to the point will you want to add a story?
When I do, well, here's the thing. Thanks for opening up this topic.
Do you need to be full screen?
That's all right. But I've showed you this before, the little maps and stuff I do.
Yep.
So when I do the game, I basically come up with a little scenario in my head. You don't have to do the full screen.
I did.
I come up with a little scenario. Thank you. And then I want to keep everything on one page. So I do the game and I draw the little map in there.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I go back in and in the space that's available, because you never know where the map's going to take you. So in the space that becomes available, stuff like this, I'll go in and I will write in who my party members were and what level they were. And then I write down a little blurb about what was the spark of the adventure. And then I do a little epilogue and I do the results and I write down what they're all carrying at the end of it, so I can continue to use these characters again. And I'll remember how much gold they have and what equipment and if they were cursed or anything during the mission and what level they go to. And like this most recent one, it gets a little difficult because this map ended up being quite large. You got to fit all that extra stuff in there.
Wow.
This is one that I changed the rules a bit because, instead of all the random monsters, I wanted to make it elves seeking revenge on some orcs. So I made all the bad guys orcs. So anytime I would roll like a dragon or something, it's like, nope, that's an orc.
Now, are you playing this with your kids or are you doing this on your own?
No, I'm doing this solo. This is a one player. You can do it like 2-3 players or whatever, and just make a big map and everybody goes from different directions. But every time I sit down to play the tabletop one with the miniatures, my kids are like right on top of it. And a lot of times I don't get to play because they end up taking sides and I just monitor.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping this to myself. This is my end of the night. If I have free time, I can sit there and play on my own.
Yeah. When I was looking up like what's the best way to play Neverwinter Nights, like what class and all that stuff, and everybody was recommending you have to play with other people. You got to play with other. Don't play it. Like it's okay if you play it solo, but if you really want to get into it, you got to play with other people. I don't want to play with other people. I just want to go on my own and explore.
Take your time. Go at your pace.
Like, there's too much pressure when there's another person there. Like you don't know if you're taking too long or whatever, and even when you know the other person well or whatever, it's just like. if you want to skip something, you can just skip it. There's just no pressure when you're doing stuff on your own.
That's what I always heard about that. What's that zombie game? 4-player zombie game.
Oh, Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. Of how when that came out, I was like, oh yeah, you got to play with 3 friends. It's great and all this. It's all about the chaos and the panic and all that. I was like, I'm gonna play by myself. The computer takes care of the other characters. They keep giving me all their bandages and stuff. This is nice.
Yeah.
And then I did go online, and I think this was before I discovered the Cartridge Club, and I played with like 3 strangers, and that was just a horrible experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. I've played Left 4 Dead with few friends, and it is quite fun with a few friends. It is.
I imagine if it's people it can be very fun.
It's a much better experience. People know it's just to get people together and all that stuff.
Yeah, I sold those games though. I'd have to rebuy them on Steam.
They're
always like $1 or $2.
They're cheap.
And I see them every time. They're on my wish list, and I'm like, should I get this? And then I think, well, I'm probably not going to play it, so what's the point?
Right. Yeah.
And they're always there. That's the thing. So if for some reason it opens up and everyone's like, hey, we really got to play Left 4 Dead, we're dying to play some like 10, 15-year-old games, multiplayer, sure, I'll drop the $1.
Okay. Before we move on to movie talk, I want to mention a YouTube channel that I have been, I watched a couple of videos on. It's called My Life in Collecting. And the character on this channel, I got to tell you, this character, Joe, is something else. He is what I call the purest collector I have ever seen, because this guy, he just collects, man. There's no other motivation behind what he does than collect. So the video I watched was his tape collection, and the first he's got like cases and cases of tapes, and the first case that he pulls out, he holds it up and he says, "This is like, you remember back in the 80s with the Columbia House." And you buy 5 for a penny, and then you got to buy 5 more at full price. This is like the Columbia House case or whatever, and he opens it up, and he starts going through the tapes. And as he's going through the tapes, it's like pretty obvious that he has no idea what any of these tapes are, right? He's just naming off titles, Pink Floyd, this and all that. And he gets to this, like, I wasn't sure what was happening. And then when he got to this one Asia tape, he holds up this Asia tape. He's like, this tape, I bought this tape because one of the songs was featured on the 40-Year-Old Virgin. And I'm like, the 40-Year-Old Virgin? That movie came out in 2005. How can you be inspired to buy a tape from Columbia House in the 80s when this movie came out in 2005? None of this makes any sense. And then I realized what he meant was the case itself. Like, the case itself was the case that he bought for his Columbia House tapes, not the tapes inside. So he has like more of a connection with the case than any of the tapes.
That's a good case.
And then he's going through the collection. I swear he's got like he had 3 or 4 copies of Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. So he's just like holding up Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits, Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. Then when he got to the 3rd Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits, he's looking at it like, let's see what's on here. Like it was the first time he ever seen it. We just saw this like twice already. It is very entertaining. I have to recommend My Life in Collecting. So go check out those.
Most entertaining channel on YouTube.
Those tape videos were something else. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining.
What's with the sudden branching out of YouTube? It seems like that has just been, ramping up lately. Everybody's getting back into pumping out YouTube videos.
Well, I know for me personally, myself and I just started looking at my Blu-rays, and I'm like, this would be cool to actually go through the collection, and then I would have Why are you directing traffic over? Oh, Bill's getting upset because it was entertaining, Bill. When you do something as entertaining as that tape video, I will direct traffic to start to continue. But my life in collecting, that was gold. You have to see it. What was the time? Oh yeah. So for me, I just started doing the Blu-ray thing, and I wanted to make the videos so when I was at work, I can watch myself and I could double check our collection, like our collection spreadsheet, because I know the spreadsheet wasn't kept up to date. So I thought, what the heck, I'll just, share it with everyone, whatever. And then I don't know, it seemed like everyone else started doing it. And I noticed too, like other YouTube channels that I watch, they pump out a lot of content. And I think that's how they get the algorithm. I think that's how they motivate the algorithm.
You need to produce very consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I noticed, like, even a lot of my older videos were getting a bump, because I think it tricks the algorithm into thinking, oh, this channel, there's something happening at this channel, so let's,
But it happens so quickly. Like I have my set routine of kind of the things that I watch, but then occasionally you watch something completely different, and then suddenly all these suggestions start coming up. Like, oh, you watched a cooking video. Well, here are so many more recipes from these channels. Like, nah, I just needed the one.
But even if you watch the channel from a certain content creator, all of a sudden, like, you'll get more recommendations from that content creator. Anyways, that's what I was doing, and then it seems like everyone else started cranking out a lot of content too. But
after
whatever.
You started.
Well, I am the trendsetter. I am the Pied Piper. And, the Cartridge Club is full of rats. I guess. How else does that analogy go? I guess he led children too, right? In he did lead children. It was first there was
to
rats.
Their deaths, yes.
To their death, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read the Pied Piper. I have no idea what the.
That's about it. You got it. There's a town full of rats. The king is like, I don't know what to do with all these rats.
Right.
Pied Piper comes in, says, hey, I'll take care of them for you, but it's going to cost you. He leads the rats away.
Yeah.
And the king stiffs them. It's like, all right, I guess I'll steal your children. He takes children away. I think in the original story, they just go live in the woods or something.
Right.
And it didn't necessarily kill them. Maybe nothing harmful going on there. Just a dude with a bunch of kids living out in the woods, playing music.
Bill says I'm an innovator. I think I'm really a YouTube influencer. Isn't that the
influencer? Is the term.
I'm an influencer. That's what I do. I influence.
You do all your your photo ops in the streets, doing your cutesy faces.
Let me tell you. Okay, so Sarah and we went out for a hike today, right? And we were like the social distance kings. If there were people like coming up behind us, because it's only a single, we went on this trail and it was just a single file trail. Bye, Bill. Thanks for coming up. Going to land a plane and run and the runway is in a jungle.
I don't know what that means.
Have fun.
Go play with your shovel.
I think maybe he's at work and he's finishing up a show, because anytime we finished up a show, we said land the plane. Anyways, so yeah, we were like, anytime like people would come up behind us, what we would do is we would move off to the side. So if they were walking faster than us, and let them on by. And same thing with us. If we came up behind some people, like kept the social distance and all that stuff, like that's what you do, right? When you're jamming up traffic, you move off to the side, let the people go by. Everyone on the hiking trail was just great. It was a really good experience. On our way home, driving home, we were going down some of the side roads, because that's how you get to this trail, is on the side roads, and just loaded with people on bikes. And I have an affectionate name for them. I call them bike douches. There are a lot of good people on bikes where they'll move off, they'll hear the car coming and they'll move off the side. But then there's other people that just don't care. They don't care. They're part of the road and they will just hog up the entire lane. They just don't care. So we get to I'm complaining the whole way. We get to this intersection and all these people on bikes. I'm talking bicycles, right? Not bikers, bicycles. All these people on bikes are in the intersection, and we're sitting and we're Sarah and I looking at each other. We come to stop, and I'm like, "What's going on? Like, how come they're not going or anything like that?" They were in the intersection taking a selfie, you know, like they were all holding up the peace signs and all that, and there was someone with the phone at the front, and they were taking a selfie in the intersection. That's my story.
That's it. Just a bunch of bikers. Like nothing was going on.
Bicyclists, cyclists.
They're all wearing those stupid spandex uniforms and their sunglasses and the stupid helmets with the.
Yes, I hate them all. I hate them all. Bike rights, says Mrs. Q Dog. No, screw their bike rights. See, look, if you're going to go on the road and play by the rules, fine. But like when I come up to an intersection and I stop, you better not be passing me on the right. You know, you stop behind me. I already passed you. You don't pass on the right. Why? Because you're bike. So like, you know, double standard. I hate cyclists. You know, they're just the worst. There's some that are good. Some that are really good.
People riding bicycles are usually fine. Cyclists get. I'm with you.
There you go.
They tend to get this superiority complex. Yes. I am a cyclist. I have access to this road. I have my rights. And especially when they're in groups. And this goes beyond cyclists. This goes to anybody who gathers in a group and going out into the public. They tend to feel like they get priority because they're in a group. Yeah. It's like, we're taking a photo. We're having like a family event here. So we're going to block the street for a bit so we can all, you know, take pictures and stuff. And it's cool. You want to take a picture with grandma and everything. Everybody gets around. But you got to be considerate of the rest of the people.
Get out of the intersection. You want to take a selfie? Go in a parking lot. Go in a field somewhere. Do it. Go ahead. I don't care. Just not in the middle of the intersection. We got a sad face from Bejoin 1979. Must be a cyclist. Sorry. Look, if you're in the middle of the road and you're not, and you only want to obey half of the rules, then I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. You want to go all out and obey the rules. You want to take up the road and force me to go into the oncoming traffic lane to pass you, fine. But when we get to an intersection, you better be behind me. You better not be passing me on the right.
The only one I'll forgive is if you have an important message, you go ahead and clog up those roads. If you're just taking a selfie of you and your biker buddies.
Yeah, no. It's not. It doesn't fly. And dangerous too, man. I hate it.
No, true.
All right.
Let's move on to over their bike next time. Do that domino thing like Pee-wee.
Well, no, I'd just run them over with the car. Like hit them with the car. Although it might damage the car, so that's no good. Okay, let's talk about movies.
Yay!
You watched Nacho Libre?
I did. It's one of those movies I'd always, you know, I guess I don't know, avoided, but I never thought it looked very good. There was the Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. That's why I'm surprised you watched it.
Yeah, so I was kind of avoiding it for a long time. But I always thought it looked a little interesting. It came on Netflix, so I was like, why not? And I watched like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm like, you know, I'm enjoying this. And then I sat down and watched the rest of it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an entertaining film.
Wow, that's I'm surprised.
I'm surprised that it gets such wishy-washy reviews. I looked it up afterwards, and apparently it made its money, but not a ton of money. Somewhat of a dud. It debuted in second place, and the reviews are all over the place. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, it's so, or they straight up say, nah, it's really just not very good. I thought it was a very light, entertaining, wonderful film. You can, you know, argue you want in today's climate about Jack Black doing a little bit of brown face there, but I don't know. I enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I guess he is in brown face, right?
Technically, they do throw a little line in there of like, I think his mom was from Ireland or somewhere or something, and try to play it off, but he is putting on the accent, and it's a little over the top. But as a film, I thought I really enjoyed Jared Hess. I think that's the director's name. I enjoyed his directing style. He does a lot of static shots.
Yeah.
There's very little camera movement, but he frames it nicely. Things play out. And the biggest thing, the problem I have with a lot of comedies is when the characters are just obnoxious. And I found all the characters to be very likable. And it was simple. There's some dead ends in the story, a couple of things that don't go anywhere, but still, fun movie.
Jokes, man.
Yeah.
It's got jokes. That movie has jokes.
Very nice things.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like cool. Napoleon Dynamite. I like Nacho Libre.
You do like Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, I don't know why people think I don't. I said before.
Didn't too.
Well, yeah, I've said before that it's not a good movie. I think it's a lucky movie in that its quirkiness is very bizarre and it doesn't follow regular standards. So I'm like, there's some of this movie that is working not intentionally, but kind of luckily. I don't know. I think Nacho Libre is a better film than Napoleon Dynamite. But I enjoy them both. And I find Napoleon Dynamite to be the extreme, like, quotable, and you're constantly thinking about all the scenes. But when I watch it, I don't laugh at all. Like, I'm just straight-faced watching that movie. And afterwards, I find it entertaining. Whereas this one, I found myself laughing quite a few times during it.
Well, what I like about that style is it's dryness. It's very dry.
It's very dry. Yeah.
Deadpan and a lot of awkward, like nothing's happening, like silence.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel forced. They don't have to go overboard. There's a couple of scenes where it's, a little nuttier than the rest, but still.
It's timing. Like the timing is just
good timing and some creativity, some different things. I really like the arm going into the screen to steal something. They did a couple of montages of that. It's a good movie.
This is Q-Dog asked us if we've seen Portlandia. They make fun of bikers, cyclists.
We've seen Portlandia. They make fun of bikers.
Sounds like
a great movie or TV show or
TV show,
whatever that is.
It's Fred Armisen and some female comic. I don't know her name, but it takes place in. Well, of course they watch it. They live in Portland, so of course you watch a show called Portlandia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Cyclists that hog up the road, and we get a lot of joggers around here. And for the most part, it's like one person jogging or whatever. But
yeah.
When you start clogging up the streets, the
one thing I don't understand is the joggers that jog in the middle of the road. I don't get that at all. I told you that story that one time when I was coming home in a snowstorm, and I'm driving along and I could hardly see, and there's a jogger coming up to me in the middle of the road. I'm like, yeah, I'm out here getting healthy, but meanwhile you're running in the middle of the road where a car can hit you. I want to live longer. Hopefully a car doesn't hit me. Like
there are parks and they have like little tracks and stuff you can go.
Yeah.
Do your thing there.
I know.
Go get healthy. Just don't block my way.
Right.
So I also watched I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I saw that the teaser trailer for the new Bill and Ted movie was up. And if I'm excited to watch a movie, I try to avoid these things, but I couldn't help myself. I was already excited because, it's another Bill and Ted movie. Straight A, triple A, for the first two films. Love them.
Right.
And then original crew is back. I think the original writer, whoever it was, is involved in this. So very excited. And then I watched the trailer and I'm still very excited. It's a good sign.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because it didn't see too much, but the concept I'm enjoying. The little bit of the story that I got is a very much Bill and Ted idea of what they would do in that situation, so it feels right. And I saw what I believe are big rubbery suits and not CG. So I was really happy about that. So I'm still pumped.
Now,
I haven't looked forward to a movie like this in a long time.
Now, do you think that it might because the idea is that if you watch the trailer, spoilers for the trailer, I guess.
The teaser trailer.
Teaser trailer, spoiler alert. So in the trailer, they reveal that the song that they were supposed to come up with that was supposed to unite the world, they're in their 40s or 50s now.
Probably 50s.
Yeah, because we're in our 40s. They're in their 50s. Jeez. They haven't written the song yet. And so someone comes from the future, I guess, and says, hey, when are you going to write this song? It's supposed to unite the world. You're supposed to do that. So their idea is that they go into the future and meet their future selves who have written the song, and they'll just copy themselves.
Yeah, they'll just steal it from themselves after they've done it.
I'm sorry, it's the Back to the Future 2 thing. You cannot visit yourself in the future, because as soon as you take yourself out of the present, out of the timeline continues on without you, and everyone thinks that you've disappeared.
This exists in a universe where that is possible. That's all you got to do.
I don't think
goofy
so. Anyways,
comedy.
do you think it takes away something from the first two movies? Because essentially those first two movies are useless then, because they were supposed to save the world, and you think they saved the world, but then they don't. It's kind of like
it
Star
doesn't
Wars
say when. It's just it will happen.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Hey, if you're gonna revisit a franchise after 20, 30 years, whatever it's been, I think this is the best you can do.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's gonna be funny, anyways.
I hope so.
Yeah, I still have to rewatch 1 and 2. It's been too long, and maybe we'll do that tonight. We'll put that on the list so I can. When is Bill and Ted 3 coming out? Like, what's the?
I don't know. It doesn't matter for me because it's going to come out here like months after it comes out. So
I wish that they would just come out on Netflix or something. Like, forget the theater.
Well, the way things are going, who knows? Have they opened the theaters yet?
They in Ontario, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about theaters, but part of our province is in phase 2 of reopening. So some malls have opened. You can go get a haircut, et cetera, but not in our area, not in Toronto and a few other areas that are heavily populated. We're still in phase 1. So
I don't know. Like, theaters are open around here, and I heard from somebody who went, and it just, they got it spaced, so you have to sit one seat apart and, and all this stuff. But it's like, is it really worth it?
No, I wouldn't go. It's just not worth it. like, there's no movie like it's Ghostbusters 3. Well, I guess they are coming up with Ghostbusters 3. But let's say they found the lost footage of Ghostbusters 3, and it's going to be in the theater for one day, and you got to get there for the one day to watch it. I still wouldn't go. It's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I did watch the first half of Back to the Future the other night on television. It was playing on network television, and man, I can watch things on VHS. I can watch things on Laserdisc, standard definition, full screen, whatever, anything like that. Can't watch those TV edits.
I know.
It's like my wife told me, it's like, oh, it's on. I was so excited because right before the whole Corona thing started, that was my plan for last year. They were doing this showing old movies in the theater,
right?
And the last ones were supposed to be 3 weeks in a row. They were going to show Back to the Future 1, 2, 3. So excited. Timed perfectly with Corona. So it's like I waited an entire year. I couldn't go. I still had this in my head. Like, oh man, I was so excited to see Back to the Future in the theater. It's like, it's on TV. It's like, all right, well, I still haven't seen it, so might as well put it on. And my kids, like my daughter, really wanted to go with me, and I was tempted to take her. Put it on, and it's like immediately the very first shot is already like fading in to like a couple minutes into the movie. I was like, oh, what are they doing? And like, it just goes on, like, all right, that scene got cut. They cut that short. We're going to commercial already. It's just, you can't watch that.
Yeah.
It was Back to the Future, so I still watched it, and it was still, what you could see was good. And then yesterday, when we were playing that tabletop game, my daughter was in like a tough situation, and suddenly she starts saying like, "I need your help, Doc. I need your help, Doc." I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's from that movie. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I'm glad she picked that up and not all the casual swearing that goes on in that film.
Did they have that in the TV edit version? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing here, because it's a different language. They don't
right.
censor it, so as long as you're watching it in English, everything comes through. So I was a little nervous about that because I know there's a lot of S-bombs going on in that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let it fly. I watched it when I was a kid.
Oh, that's like me, man. I started watching The Burbs, and as soon as we got to a commercial, I was like, no, I can't watch it like this. I can't watch The Burbs like this. I gotta go and buy The Burbs now so I can watch it properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I could watch movies on TV on the movie network where it's
where it's a movie, full movie,
right? But not on regular standard TV.
Ooh, that's tough. It's been a long time since I've done that.
Okay, so for me, I have been watching. What did I do? How did this happen? How did this start? I watched. Okay, so a while ago, I bought Some Like It Hot, which is a Billy Wilder movie. It stars Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis. They dress up as women because they're hiding from the mob, and they go into this female band. It's also a way that they can get a job. It's a ridiculous premise, but it works really well because the guy that directed the movie, Billy Wilder, is like a genius. Like he's just a movie genius. He's got a way to make these ridiculous concepts just seem believable and work. And you get to a point in the movie where you just don't care. Like, it just kind of like, whatever, you're just going along with this ridiculous
I'm
premise.
fine with this.
You're
Show
having
me what you got.
fun. You're having fun with the movie. And he, like his comedy is old school where, I mean, it's from the 50s, right? This movie's from the 50s. And, in the 50s, you couldn't just throw the references to things that people knew and make those as jokes. You actually had to have jokes. You had to have things set up, and then punchlines and payoffs too. Like that's all this, like the movie is just nothing but setup, and then punchline or a payoff or something like that. It has one of the best endings too. I just love it. So it's been a long time since I watched it. I bought the Criterion collection, and Sarah and I watched it. And then after that, Sarah kept asking for more Billy Wilder movies. So we ended up watching Stalag 17, Sunset Boulevard, The Apartment. That's another one that I got. They're just great. Those are like Billy Wilder's 4 best movies. I recommend all those. Sunset Boulevard is like one of my favorite movies of all time. And then The Apartment is great too. That's Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine. It's a really great idea. So Billy Wilder, like, he was a screenwriter before he became a director, and he was working on this one script where these guys would have relationships with with the women at the office. Like they were like they had wives at home, but they would also have relationships with the women that they worked with. And they would go off to this apartment that one guy in the office had. Like, he was like the guy that had the key to the office. And he was working on the script. And he's like, I wonder if I made a whole movie about just the guy who had this apartment. And he constantly had to get out of his apartment to let people in so they can screw around. And this was in the 50s, right? It was very risque. It wasn't like you could just go get a hotel room or anything like that. There would always be questions asked, whatever. So they would use this guy's apartment, and it's Jack Lemmon in the lead, and it's just a great fun movie. If you haven't seen The Apartment, I think it's the last, if I remember correctly, it's the last movie to win Best Picture that was black and white until Schindler's List came out. I think I have that right. But yeah, it's just a delightful picture. It's fantastic. It's funny. Still relevant today too. Like, you think, like, these movies that are so old, you just assume like they're just going to be so out of touch, but they're about humans. Humans doing human things and human relationships and all that, so they remain relevant. Fred McNamara is in that movie as well. He did a bunch of Disney stuff, but he also did stuff. Like, he was like the absent-minded professor.
Name. Oh, I gotta see his face now.
The absent-minded professor. He was also in
Okay.
My Three Sons, I think, which is a sitcom. But Billy Wilder would cast him in these serious roles all the time as well. So we ended up watching that. Stalag 17 is like basically a precursor to Hogan's Heroes. It's about these guys that are in not the concentration camp, the prisoner of war camp, Nazi prisoner of war camp, and their job is to break out. That's their job. That's what they got to do. Great Escape, I used a lot of it too, but Great Escape was a little more serious. Stalag 17 is a comedy, and they took a lot from that movie for Hogan's Heroes. And what else I say? We watched Sunset Boulevard, and what was the other one? Oh, The Apartment. Yeah, I've mentioned them all. Okay, that was it. So we watched those 4. And then recently I just bought Sabrina and Irma La Douce, which are 2 other Billy Wilder movies. And we did watch those. They're not as good, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They remade Sabrina in the 90s with Harrison Ford and Greg Kinnear, I think. I've never seen that one, but the original has William Holden and Humphrey Bogart. That's one you want to see.
Do you do all the record keeping when you buy all these Blu-rays? Keeping your spreadsheets?
When I buy them?
Yeah, like you keeping track of everything you own?
Oh, yeah.
Got a tally and all that?
Yeah, for sure.
How many Blu-rays do you have now? Approximately.
I got my watch list open. I don't have my... let's see. I'd have to go and find it. Hold on.
Roundabout. You got like you got 100.
I have no idea. I don't know. Hold on.
Come on. There's got to be a tally in there somewhere, right?
There's a tally. Hold on. I got to get to it though. So we've got budgeting, the watch list, our music collection. Here's our movie collection. Here we go. Okay. So you just want to know just Blu-rays or Blu-rays and DVD?
Give me what you got.
I can give you either. I can tell you how many Blu-rays I got. I can tell you how many DVDs I got.
Tell me both.
So the total number of movies we own. Now this is a little bit off because
wait. Now this is Blu-rays, DVDs. Are you counting any like VHS or anything like that too, or
no VHS? No.
Okay. Blu-rays and DVDs. What do you own?
Yeah. There's 4K, the 4K ones, and now the number is approximate because there are some collections. Like when I have a collection, I'll put every movie in there individually. Sarah will not.
Okay. Right. Like you get a box set of Star Trek. It's
right.
All the titles.
Right.
Okay. I got a number in my head. A roundabout.
Okay. Go for it. Tell me your number.
Oh, I'm going to say you got to be close to 500.
Okay. We got a little bit more than that. So we'll just move on from this segment. We'll just move on from this segment. And
what's the number? What's the number?
It's a little more than that. That's all.
All right, a little more. Is it like how many little mores?
Well, like, look, how long? Like, how old is the universe? It's quite old, right? So between
I'm just curious.
Hundreds. It's just like in the whole galaxy, the whole universe. It's insignificant.
You were just about to tell me, and then why does my opinion make it sound any different?
We have a little more. Just a little more. That's all.
Yeah, how many is a little?
We have 800. 800.
Okay, there you go. Look, what's to be ashamed of that?
Nothing. I'm not ashamed. Nothing. No.
Yeah, it's all right. There's like people showing off their game collections. I got like 2,000 games or whatever. Come on. You're buying $5 Blu-rays, right?
Right.
Everything costs $5.
Well, something like that. Yeah.
Sure. Everything is $5.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you get 2 for $5.
Sure.
Come out of the bin. You go to Best Buy. They got the big bin up front.
Sure. Well, then we sell stuff too. We sell stuff.
Buy 3, get 4 free. Something like that.
Then you take the money you sold off and you reinvest it in some other things.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So then the other thing I've been watching this week is Sarah wanted to watch the Sergio Leone Man with No Name trilogy. So I ended up watching Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
I still have not seen any of those.
I
do have a copy of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but I feel like maybe I should watch the other 2 first.
You can just watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You don't need to watch the other 2 because they're self-contained. They don't really like this. Like really, only Clint Eastwood is the consistent character in all three movies, and then Lee Van Cleef is in two of the movies, but he's not playing the same character in either movie. So they're almost just like stories that happen in this world, this universe kind of thing, where they're not really, they don't follow, like there's nothing that you're going to, like if you watch just The Good and Bad and the Ugly, there's nothing that happened in the previous two movies that's really going to make you, think that you should have watched the other two movies. You can watch them in any order, really.
Okay.
But I don't know if you would like them. I don't know. I'm curious if you would.
I'm curious too.
Because Sergio Leone, the only short movie he's done is the very first one, A Fistful of Dollars. That movie is an hour and 40 minutes. Everything else is like 2.5, 3 hours. And the reason
I don't often sit down, like when I sit down to watch a movie, I tend to check times, and I usually go for the shorter ones simply because when I sit down to watch a movie, it's usually towards the end of the night. I have nothing against a good film that goes on for 2.5 hours, whatever. It's just, I know it's going to be a long, process of watching half hour here, half hour there.
That's what I mean. And,
if it's good, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I know. And see, I think it is good, but he's a very man. He says a lot without a lot of dialogue. Like there's just a lot of people staring at each other with the soundtrack booming in the background and close up on eyes and stuff like that. Like he's a very visual guy, and he likes to take his time. He takes his time to tell his stories. He really enjoyed long movies. He thought like movies should be longer. And as I'm watching it, I'm not sure if your attitude would be, well, what he's saying here is great, or this guy's just wasting my time. This could have been done in 5 minutes instead of 20 minutes, So it'd be interesting to see if you watch it, but I can't see like watching it in like 20 and 30 minute spurts. Like it really.
If a movie catches me, I sit down and I watch through. Like I said, that Nacho Libre, I started by watching like 5-10 minutes of it, and then I sat down and watched the rest of it. Wow. It catches you.
I forgot how good Eli Wallach is in The Good and Bad, the Ugly. Like everyone talks about Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood, but that Good and Bad, the Ugly, man, Eli Wallach is just such a terrific character in it. He's hilarious, man. He's hilarious, bad. So the other movie I watched was the fourth in that. I don't know if it's part of the Dollars trilogy or if it's part, because he did that movie, those three movies, and then the next three movies he did was Once Upon a Time in the West, A Fistful of Dynamite / Duck You Sucker, and then the final movie he did was Once Upon a Time in America. Now, some people say A Fistful of Dynamite belongs to the Dollars trilogy because it's called A Fistful of Dynamite. And the first movie is called A Fistful of Dollars. Of course, they belong together. But other people say it actually belongs in his other three movies, because the original title was Duck You Sucker, and for obvious reasons, the American studio MGM did not want to call the movie Duck You Sucker. I guess they felt like too many kids would spray paint an F where the D is or whatever. So they wanted to tie it into the Dollars trilogy. So they called it Fistful of Dollars. Anyways, I watched that one. Doesn't have Clint Eastwood in it, but it has Rod Steiger and James Colburn in it. And it was pretty good too. We just watched that last night, and it's another long one, but it was good. A lot of brown face. Rod Steiger's a total brown face in it, but that guy can carry a movie. He can carry like a 2.5 hour movie, and he's a little bit underrated,
So is that the original like nerd war? People are complaining this movie belongs over here in this trilogy. No, it belongs over here.
Probably. I don't care. It's just it was in with my collection. It was like a 4-movie collection, and Duck You Sucker was the last one, and I'd never seen it before. That was my first time. It was pretty good. It's a cool movie.
I'm really glad that I feel like I'm so far separated from all those internet nerd arguments. It just feels like once you can step back from all that, it's like, wow, why did I ever find any interest in any of those?
I don't know. I mean, it's fun to have some discussions about some things sometimes
Oh,
with your friends
discussion
and
is
that, but
fine, but when people start getting emotional about
yeah,
things, you see all those Snyder fans were destroying their copies of Justice League, the Joss Whedon one, because now the Snyder one's going to come out, which I'm
no.
actually kind of excited for.
Are
I
you?
rather, well, not excited in like oh boy, I can't wait for this, but I kind of enjoyed Justice League for being a stupid movie. Like all the other DC movies that I watched recently, I don't know if I'd be interested in going back and watching any of them, but that Justice League, like I could probably sit through that if it were on.
Mm,
So another version
not
of it,
me.
it's like, yeah, sure,
Mm,
why not?
mm,
Mm.
no. That was the one with.
It was the
Was
one
that
with
the?
all the characters,
Okay, yeah, with the Flash, with the right,
the
the young
Flash and
Flash,
the
right?
Aquamans and all that.
I get that one confused with the one with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex
The
Luthor. What's that one?
That's the
Batman and Robin?
Batman,
Not Batman.
Superman,
Batman Superman.
Batman. That one was garbage, but
Now,
they're none of them very good. But
Didn't Snyder do Batman in Superman? Batman versus Superman? Did he do that one?
yeah, right.
So why are
Didn't he do all of the DC movies up until then? Like he did. Did he do the Superman one?
I think
I,
so.
I haven't seen that one.
I don't like he directs all these crappy movies and then people are demanding that they see this other they want I don't get it. I just don't
Yeah.
get it.
He's got
I
his
don't know what they're
fan base.
expecting. I guess.
I don't know.
And
You
he did
like 300. What do you
I
know?
was going to say he did 300. I haven't seen 300 in a long time. I need to rewatch that.
I fell asleep the first time I was watching it. I was so excited for it. Fell asleep. Then I watched it and I was like, that's it. And then I've tried to go back because people keep telling me, like, oh, 300's great. And I go back and it looks cool, but the movie itself is just dull.
Well, you're the one that's excited for his latest
Yeah, I'm
movie.
not excited, but I am
You're stoked.
interested in.
You're ready for
And
it.
I am excited for Bill and Ted 3. I am interested / excited for John Wick 4. I am. I would watch the other Justice League.
You are excited for Keanu Reeves movies. That's all you want is more Keanu
Pretty much.
Reeves.
That's all I need.
You went from Joe Piscopo right to Keanu Reeves.
If it doesn't have Keanu Reeves in it, I don't need it.
Good for
Except
you.
for RoboCop. I did see your RoboCop unboxing.
Oh, very good. That was a good set, man. That thing was interesting. A lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, it looks like the booklet that was in there. It looks like maybe that Flesh and Steel thing.
Flesh and
It seems
Steel.
like it's a written version of one of the extras that was in like one of the featurettes.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure when you flip through it, I thought I saw the words Flesh and Steel, and that was a featurette on the 20th anniversary
Okay.
release.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's wrap this
I
up.
don't know. I don't know.
We're done enough. Follow Retro Fandango on Twitter, at retro_Fandango. Get a boner with Retro Fandango. Don't forget about Discord. It is awesome. Go over there and vote for the movie, for the indie movie. If this week, this is it. And if no one else votes, 8th grade is going to get it. So if you're a fan of Defender, Dope, The Lobster, Midsommar, or Wet Hot American Summer, go over to Discord and put your vote there. Because no other votes will be accepted. Discord only.
What do you think, B joined 1979?
I think he left.
Oh.
I think he's gone. I think he's a
Do
cyclist.
any of those movies involve cycling?
I
Maybe he'll vote for that one.
I don't know, actually. I don't know anything about these movies. Not a thing.
Oh, wow. We went a little bit late today. Huh?
You know, isn't that something? Like, how do we manage to get, like, we finally get somebody new in there, we managed to insult them right away.
Immediately.
I'm a cyclist. Oh,
It's the Fandango way.
sorry, dude. Sorry. I mean, if you're
Hey,
in the
back when we started, we had a lot of people to insult right away. We had to
Yeah.
get everybody done. Now
It
it's
took
just
work.
like one by one. You get personal treatment.
Yeah, we had to like insult you in a group. We had
Mhm.
to do like a whole group. Now it's just you get your own personal insult.
Mhm.
Oh, he's still
He's
here.
here?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
there you go.
Sorry, dude. I don't know.
Oh.
I just see like the eye, the live viewer eye on this thing says there's one now. So I don't know. Maybe it's glitchy. Who knows?
I'm just monitoring the chat.
Well,
So
thanks for
B
joining
join
us.
1979. Thank you very much for listening. Go over to that Discord thing. You did not insult. Oh, geez,
well,
we
we
gotta work
failed.
harder.
All right, we'll try
Yeah.
harder. Tell us some personal stuff about you. PM us some personal stuff about you, and then we'll find a way. We'll figure it out.
We'll have some really good insults for you next week.
Yeah, that's right. We could get political. That's always fun.
What do you want? What do you want to talk about? Politics,
don't.
religion,
No.
money?
Oh yeah, all the things you're not supposed to talk about. All right, I think that's it.
All right.
We've done it all. Said it all. All right. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Maybe maybe you're listening to this later. Who knows? But you missed so much visual stuff.
Listen.
Some people still listen. It's crazy. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.